This is Bill Cassidy, Senior Editor of the Journal of Commerce, and I'm here at the NASTRAC conference in Florida with James Welch, CEO of YRC Worldwide. James, good morning.
Good morning, Bill. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's great to have you here. We've talked a number of times over the past 2 years since you returned to YRC Worldwide. I had the opportunity to visit your headquarters and meet with you there.
Sure did.
When you were starting on the turnaround. This morning, I'd like to talk a little bit about the panel that you were on this morning here at NASTRAC. Which was very interesting, and about where things stand with YRC Worldwide right now.
Great.
To start off with, what are your goals for YRC Worldwide for 2013? What do you want to achieve?
Well, Bill, we need to continue to move forward with the turnaround. My goal is to have positive operating income in 2013 and continue to move forward with the improvement in EBITDA that we've seen since I came back, and we want to do some things that will help our financial position out as our performance improves to help our company be more financially secure, and that's a big piece of our future. It's all about performance, and we're finally, I think, over the hump from a performance standpoint. And I really like our teams and what we're doing. And it's just all about continuing to focus on the basics and move the company forward.
Well, so last year you had 2 quarters where you had actually an operating profit.
Right.
What were the major factors that got you to that point?
Well, I have talked a little bit about it, but it really is getting the company back focused on what we do best. And during the financial debacle of YRC Worldwide, it just became too diversified and really wasn't paying attention to what had made the company successful for 80 or 90 years, and that was LTL trucking. And so we've just really worked hard. We call it hauling out a lot of garbage, but we've really worked hard at exiting or getting rid of anything that wasn't pertaining to LTL transportation, and are just laser-like focused on that.
That includes the truckload subsidiary, Glenmore.
Right.
Also the Chinese subsidiaries.
Right. And then probably the most important thing that we did was, when I came back, we had this enterprise services group, and too much was controlled at the corporate headquarters. When we talked about it, when I first came back, my goal was to push the operating authority back out to New Penn, Holland, Redaway, and YRC Freight. And that sounds easy, but it's taking us a while to get that done. But I really did not want there to be centralized control. I wanted each operating company to be in charge of its own destiny, so to speak. And the management team and the employees have continued to really rally around that. I think that has helped build momentum, and this business is a lot about momentum, and getting employees behind getting them behind what we're trying to do. And that has continued to build, and I think it's playing in our favor right now.
One thing that came up this morning quite a bit was the changes in technology, changes actually in supply chains. You've made some major changes over the past 2 years to YRC Freight, changes of operations last year, and now you have a proposed change of operations, which I believe you met with the Teamsters on recently.
Right.
Is there any news on that change of operations that you can share at this point?
It went just as expected. While we haven't had an official written response, we feel really good about where we're at, and should be no problem moving forward. We'll implement in early May, for whatever reason, when they put Yellow and Roadway together in 2009, density was kind of a passing thought in the rearview mirror for the management team at that time, for whatever reason. And so you just had an over-bloated network, too much capacity for the amount of business that was being generated. And from an engineering standpoint, it never really was thought through about optimally how many distribution centers should we have, what should our terminal network look like, what should the size of some of these terminals be. And so with this change of operations that we'll put in place in May, it will again right-size, optimize the network, and give us a much better chance to be more efficient, give better service, better quality, less handling of customers' freight, but really gets our density to where we need it, so.
The same thing is being done or is being explored at many of your competitors as well. You've seen
Sure.
big network changes at
Absolutely.
FedEx Freight and at Conway
Conway.
Freight over the years.
Right.
You know, what, in terms of building that density and responding to customers' needs, you know, on the customer side, what are the big issues that are helping to drive some of these changes?
Well, anytime we can load a customer's freight direct without handling it one or two additional times is really key to our quality, key to better service, and service and quality are big deals to our customers. And we also know that, you know, with our financial condition getting better, we know that we're going to have more opportunities to grow our business in the future than we did in the past. So having a network that allows us to be as efficient as possible only helps to give us a better chance to grow our business by getting, you know, customers to believe in what we're doing. And we've made a lot of progress there. So pleased with the things that we've done, but you know, we've got to continue to prove ourselves as well, though. There's a lot of good competition out there. A lot of competitors were greatly enhanced by the problems that our company went through several years ago, and so, you know, we're still in the process of reproving ourselves and working hard to regain a leadership position in the North American transportation industry.
Do you see the way shippers use LTL in their supply chains changing, or is it evolving since the recession?
You know, it's evolving, but not as much as one would think, and I kind of mentioned it on the panel today. You know, you talk about optimization, and you talk about all the technology, and you talk about 3PLs, and you talk about information overload, and you talk about all these things, but there still is a basic need, you know, to pick the freight up on time, deliver on time, don't bust it, and then make sure that your network and offering is adapting to what customers' needs are. You know, there's still a need for long-haul transportation in our industry, and there's definitely a need for regional transportation, and obviously we're lucky to have 3 great regional companies, and then the long-haul company of YRC Freight that's evolved out of Yellow and Roadway that's making gains. So, you know, we think we're really well suited to meet you know, what customers are looking for. I mean, we're not to the point where we can beam frame freight up, Scotty. I mean, it's not Star Trek stuff. You still got to physically pick the freight up and move it and deliver it, and hopefully on time and not without damage. And so sometimes I think maybe we all get a little carried away with just all the technology that's out there, but as we were talking when we were coming into this room, you know, somebody still has to do the physical work, and we think that's what we're good at.
James, thank you very much.
Good to see you, Bill, as always.